Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be bringing you a Fiesta in D2 ELO NA. This is going to showcase to you guys that even in Diamond 2, there's a reason why we're all in Diamond 2, and it's because there's a lot of weird decisions that we all make, and it's crazy and rowdy, and I just want to try to teach you guys how I personally navigate through a Fiesta type of game, and how to come out, hopefully, victorious. Okay, so let's go straight to our team comps. So my side, I'm playing the Trundle in the jungle, and we have two guys that really want to go in. Two type of frontliners slash guys that really want to get into their backline, and that's Urgot and Diana. Okay. We also have two guys that are very pokey, and in the form of Varus and Janna. And Varus is going to be able to not only poke, but also deal a lot of kind of peel with his E and also with his ultimate. Of course, Janna is a very annoying peeler as well, and she's going to be able to do that type of action that's similar to Varus, and that's why they synergize very well, and they can be very annoying to play against, which I like for my team. As for me, I actually have the option of being both a frontliner and a peeler. Well, I am a frontliner no matter what, but I have two options of game style I can play, right? So let's say my Urgot and Diana get fed, and my bot lane is pretty behind. What I can do is actually dive into the back line with the Urgot and Diana with my pillar and really help and enable Diana and Urgot to do their job. What I also can do if my bot lane gets really ahead is I can use my pillar and use things like Knight's Vow, Zeke's Convergence to really peel for my Varus while he dishes out a bunch of damage, which is why I really like Trundle. He's very flexible, and we have different win conditions in our team, so it's really cool. As for their team comp, we're seeing a Karma with Smite in the top, and I'm not going to pay too much attention to Karma. I don't really like to gank Karma too much in the top lane, so I'm actually, my plan is to focus more on the mid and bot in the early game stages, because Karma is super annoying to gank. As for the rest of the team, they have a very squishy but very annoying team comp in the form of Lux and Aphelios. In that Lux will of course be looking for her Qs to try to zap people, and Aphelios, of course, if he gets really ahead, or when we get to the late game, if we get to the late game, he's gonna be able to do massive amounts of damage. And they have Lee Sin, who not only can provide peel, but he can also go really in. And Leona, who's obviously going to go in. But my honest and my overall reactions to both of our team comps is I like ours a lot better. Their team comp seems very weird to me because they do have a lot of peel, a lot of poke in the form of Karma and Lux. And if the Lux and Karma do get very ahead, it could be really bad for us. But it's really hard for them to actually kind of kill our team and our diving frontliners if we do play correctly, because firstly, Aphelios can do a lot of damage, but a big problem with Aphelios right now is that he tends to not be able to output his damage enough because he gets so caught out so easily in team fights, and he has very little escapes, and it takes a really great amount of peel for him to really be enabled. So even though Lux, Karma, and Leona can certainly peel for him, and Lee Sin as well, Aphelios has to, pretty much play close to perfectly to really be able to output his maximum damage. And in the Diamond 2 Elo, it's gonna be very hard for someone to be able to do that. But we'll see. That's definitely one of their win conditions. Another win condition for them is, for the Karma and Lux to get ahead and really pokey. But I overall think that their team comp is much harder to play than our team comp. So that's my thoughts. Let's jump right in. Both of us definitely have chances, and this is not a loss from the draft, I would say. Okay, so like I talked about, I'm going to start in the red buff because, as I mentioned before, I don't want to really gank Karma early game. I've done that in the past. She's very annoying to gank, and this person's running Smite, some type of weird cheese. I just don't even want to deal with it. I'm going to start red, then go to path in my blue Gromp, and then look for a gank bottom or mid to try to get my Diana or Varus ahead. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I do my classic ward over here. So usually what I would do is I would come here. If I was starting red, right? a lot of times I would kind of try to push for vision of to see where they're going to start. But I knew that for Lee Sin players, they usually have two options. Um, they don't really like to start blue buff, but what they like to do is either start their red or they start my red. Okay, so because I know that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a ward onto my own red, right, just to make sure that Lee Sin doesn't come for a late invade and try to get my buff. Even though I'm coming back here, it's going to be good for us to get vision of this while we have vision of here, because Urgot's going to be staying here. I'm going to be staying here as well. The Karma actually sees the ward, and what's going to happen, what's really trippy for the Karma and unfortunate, is that he's going to see this ward and he's going to think in his head, oh, okay, so that means that Trundle is starting blue buff, because all the times junglers, when they ward here, right, what that means is that they're going to start the opposite buff. And I don't blame Karma for thinking that way. So Karma's gonna stay right here, but she's gonna start coming on over. And I don't know what the idea behind coming all the way here is. I think it's just to check to make sure that I'm not doing it, but she does have smite and maybe looks for a weird type of steal shenanigan. I'm not sure. But now that we see Karma, what is Urgot gonna do? We're gonna go right in, we're gonna whap her. We're gonna whack, whack, whack. And she flashes first. I do a delayed flash because I guess I was a little slow, and I should not have flashed her, or I should have flashed immediately after. So that's the first misplay on my behalf. First of many misplays, guys. There's a reason why I'm not challenger, so don't worry. I'm gonna expose myself. Don't you guys worry. Okay, so I'm unable to get the kill on Karma, but at this point I can't continue to chase her because I'm going to lose a lot of momentum if I commit on this Karma kill. And funnily enough, even if I do get the kill on Karma or we just secure it, that's gonna be bad for our team, because I'm gonna be so behind in the jungle due to my really delayed jungling. Okay, so you guys are gonna see Urgot's gonna chase her down with Splash, and he's gonna be able to get the kill, which is gonna be really good for us. Overall, I have a very delayed start to my buff. Lee Sin already finished his red buff, and he's heading towards my blue buff. And honestly, that's something that I should already have known without a doubt, that when something happens in the top lane and your Karma makes a little, let's say if I'm the Lee Sin, right, my Karma just kind of fed / like gave a first blood pretty quickly to the enemy top laner, and Trundle jungle was spending a lot of resources in the top. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get the blue buff and gain an advantage of my own, especially in solo queue. Okay, so I'm going to do this red buff while this Lee Sin's doing my blue buff. Okay, what I should have done here is I should have went immediately to the blue or the Gromp and see if he was doing it, because first of all, there's no way that he would be able to do red buff, blue buff, and my Gromp within the first 2 minutes and like 20 seconds of the game. That's impossible. Secondly, he's gonna be level 2 if he finishes only 2 buffs. There's no way he's gonna be able to one-shot me, or kind of fight a Trundle early game with press the attack if he if I encounter him. So I should have really checked for my my blue buff and Gromp, but what I do instead is I do probably the worst option of all the options. I had 2 good options. One is to go check immediately to see if the Lee Sin was doing it, and because my my mid laner and bot lane could have potentially came through as well. My second option was to kind of ditch the entire bottom side entirely and actually split the map in half here and go to his blue and his Gromp and get level 3 from there, and really just put a kind of fist of iron onto the Karma. Unfortunately, I do not do that, and I do the worst possible option, which is going to my wolves. And you guys are gonna see what's gonna happen. So I do my wolves, right? And this Lee Sin is able to get blue buff, and he's gonna be working on the Gromp here while I finish these wolves. Okay. Now I see that Lee Sin is doing the Gromp, and this early game for me is still salvageable, right? If I'm able to secure the Gromp because I have smite and he has smite, what happens to me? I miss my smite, and then he gets the smite off, and now he's level 3, I'm level 2, and now it's a really bad position for me. Unfortunately for me, I'm able to get out, and this Diana, even though she's level 2, she's gonna roam right over here to fight this Lee Sin. And now the fiesta begins, guys. I have to support this Diana, because if I go back and recall, which is kind of what I wanted to do, then this Diana's gonna get really tilted, and she's gonna probably like blame me a lot, and bad things are gonna happen. So I need to commit to help the Diana over here. Thing is, Lux is level 3, Lee Sin's level 3. Our bot is coming first, but their bot is trailing right behind. It's gonna be very hard for us to win in this team fight. Let me slow this down. The thing that Lee Sin does is Lee Sin actually commits to the Diana. Diana flashes away. Lee Sin, you guys would think that this is good for Lee Sin to secure that kill, but in actuality, the correct play was not to go for the Diana, but commit on this whole bots, our bottom laners and me as well, to try to get kills on those instead of taking 2 to 3 turret shots and really dying super quickly just for a trade on a level 2 Diana. Because this Lee Sin had all of his Conqueror stacks, he was level 3, he could have feasted on us, but fortunately for us, he went for the kill on Diana, which I can't really blame, right? Because that's like hindsight 2020. It's really hard to be like, oh guys, no, I'm not gonna go for this kill that I can guarantee. Instead, I'm gonna fight with our team, and even though we have a big advantage, there's like no way he can have complete clarity of that situation, especially in this scenario where all of our adrenalines are pumping a little. It's hard to make the correct decision. We get the kill on the Lee Sin, and we were able to trade 1 for 1. And at this point, we want to disengage because his Lux is level 3, and we're pretty darn weak. So okay, let me speed this up. So the only thing that the Lux could do is give out a Q, and then we have to dodge it. If we don't dodge it, we die. So it's gonna be up to us to just dodge it. And fortunately for us, both of us dodge it. So that's good. I have made the 2 mistakes in this game now. One is flashing not immediately after the Karma. 2 is not going for my blue or Gromp, or going this way and splitting the map in half, and really putting an Iron Fist onto Karma. So let's keep that in mind, and there will be a count for more of my mistakes. But I hope that you guys learn from the mistakes that I make, right? That's the point. Learn from my mistakes and my insights of the games, because not all the things I do are mistakes, I think. Yeah, so I'm gonna get a back off here. Okay, and at this point, I know that a bunch of people burn summoners, right? So the Lux doesn't have flash, the Lee Sin doesn't have flash, but that doesn't really matter too much, and the Karma does not have flash at all. Okay. I see that the Urgot's doing a really good job in the top lane, at least maintaining his presence in the top lane, doing well. So let's see my next course of actions over here, right? I'm gonna go ahead and take my critically, this is what's gonna happen. I'm going to go ahead and take my Wraiths instead of committing on a Scuttle. Both Scuttles are up at this point, and as you guys know, if you guys watch my previous videos, I'm a huge fan of Scuttle. Scuttle is very good for jungler, very important. But the problem for me going with Scuttle at this point is, 1, I'm level 2, and 2, we don't have vision of their bot side jungle or top side jungle at all. I would have no way of knowing which Scuttle Lee Sin will try to commit and get, and he's level 3. I'm still level 2. So if I commit to a Scuttle that he is already gonna be at, right? Even if it was bot or top, I'm screwed, because I'm not gonna be able to get that Scuttle. I waste even more time, and Lee Sin's gonna get way ahead. So I need to commit to my Wraiths here. And I was planning to go for my Gromp, but you guys will see what happens. This Diana actually has a jungler mindset, and she's setting a pink ward here, great, to help me out, take the initiative, and really see where the Lee Sin is. So Diana's gonna walk up, potentially looking to either gank the Karma or try to see where Lee Sin is at. And importantly, for those of you who are mid laners and watching this video, after she shoves the wave, right? She shoved the wave, and now she's going to try to make things happen off the map. I see a lot of my fellow mid laners who kind of shove the wave, don't really do anything, rinse and repeat, just lane. No, mid lane can definitely impact the game a lot, and this is what Diana is doing. Diana finds the Lee Sin, and now Diana's gonna go in because she knows that he has backup over here, right? So I'm gonna go after the Lee Sin as well. This Karma is able to come first because top lane was pushed up, but importantly, the Urgot does follow, right? So Lee Sin's gonna commit for the kill on the Diana, and I'm going to challenging Smite Lee Sin and get the kill as a trade, and also get level 3 importantly, which is great for us. Okay. Then I'm going to commit on this Karma, who I know doesn't have flash, and Pillar, and get the kill as well. So unfortunately for us, the Lux got the kill, and if you guys want to look at the scoreboard, let's hide. Over here, we see that the Lee Sin got the kill and the Lux. Lux has double buffs as well. Overall, this was a bit of a loss for us because well, it depends on what I do, right? Because I'm Trundle in the jungle. I don't really want the kills in our team, but I was able to get both of those kills, and it's gonna be up to me to kind of take the initiative and really impact the game. And if I don't do that, then the double kills would have been a huge waste on me, and they would have gotten a big advantage. Because let's think about the win conditions again, guys. The win condition for us is for us to be kind of able to obliterate their backline through either poking through bot lane or our frontliners just completely busting them. For them, their win conditions is kind of get Lux / Karma / like, you know, one of those like really annoying peelers ahead. So it's gonna be really hard for our frontline to get in, and they're gonna be able to outpoke our poke, right? So that's their win condition. So I always have to keep that in mind while playing the game. So what I'm going to do here is I was thinking about clearing my Gromp, but I see this bot action. I see both bottom lanes are really low, huge tension. And guys, priority for junglers in general is that you want to be at the place where there's a lot of tension, right? When there's a lot of tension, it's almost always a good idea for the jungler to join that tension. Yeah, I like to use the word tension for these type of scenarios where bot is really low in both sides. Something crazy is going to happen. Okay, so Leona flashes in for the Varus, gets the kill. Okay, what's gonna happen over here is I see that my bot lane is losing, right? So I know that I know that the Lee Sin's also here because you'll see why I know the Lee Sin's here. I didn't know that he was here until I come down too, right? I come down, and this Lee Sin comes down as well. Okay. There's actually an important point over here. Something that I promised you guys that I did see in the game is that our mid lane was getting extremely low and our bot lane was getting extremely low. So I had to make a decision, either go to mid or go to bot, where crazy things are gonna happen. What I decided to do is I go to bot. The reason why is because you know, bot lane in total has more impact than mid lane, right? And in addition, the reason behind that is because the two people ADC support over like mid. But also another big reason why I went to bot instead of mid is because this Lux was full HP. Even if I came here, like, there's like no guarantee I'm gonna be able to kill her. I don't have flash. Like, Lux is a very annoying person to chase when I don't have flash and she's full HP. So I'm gonna commit to the bot lane, and I find myself a wild Lee Sin, and at this point, our bottom lane has lost that 2v2 fight, and I know that if I just try to run to try to get the Aphelios or whatever, this Lee Sin's gonna start hitting me for a lot of damage, and I might just feed another kill. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fight the Lee Sin over here. I'm gonna use my challenging smite onto him. I'm gonna keep whacking him, whack, whack. I got 2 kills. I have 3 kills in the early game. So I'm going to be able to do a lot of damage onto the Lee Sin, and great for me, I'm able to pillar him and get that kill. And while look at my HP, guys, I'm almost full HP. I just absolutely destroy him. So that's really good. And now even though we lost that bottom team fight, but we get the TP coming from Urgot. Really good TP by him. Unfortunately for him, he's gonna get minion blocked a ton, so he can't commit to the chase too quickly. Right? Please fix that. Please fix that, man. I mean, not fix it, but like, it's crazy. Anyways, we're gonna decide to just go for the Aphelios because we're gonna have to dive for the Leona over here. We get the kill on Aphelios so the TP was pretty much almost worth it, unless this Karma is able to completely freeze the wave, which he kind of isn't. What I'm gonna do now is I'm going to try to see if I can put some pressure onto the Lux, but at this point this Diana is so far away. This wave is pushed up. What I should have done is just immediately taking the scuttle. So that's another mistake that I make, right? I keep looking as a Trundle. I keep looking for like potential mistakes by enemy laners when they push up far too much, and like maybe she would greed for the plate. So I was looking for that option, but I have to maybe give a little more respect to these laners than I have been doing. So she's backing up. Not much I can do here. But what I'm gonna do now afterwards is I'm going to take the scuttle. So what happens over here, guys, is that they actually pull off a dive onto the Leona and get the kill. The Urgot gets the kill. The Varus is the one that tanks the turret, and he's very low now. I'm gonna get the scuttle over here, but I'm trying to, well, not necessarily me. I'm not trying to ping him back, but this Varus, because he didn't get any of the kills, he's gonna try to greed for the plate. Try to reward himself, right? Because he didn't get any of those kills. He wants to reward himself for at least being a part of the action. So he tries to get a plate. And what he's gonna do over here is that he's gonna try to back up after getting that plate. But what happens, guys? Greed in League of Legends will always result in not always, but most times. And that's exactly what happens. So Lee Sin's able to come first before me. Maybe in hindsight, if I dipped the scuttle entirely and just went straight to the bottom lane, I would have been able to help Varus earlier, but it was a little too hard, and the Varus already greeded too much into committing to get the plate when he shouldn't have, which is a really hard call. I'm not going to blame the Varus because, plates are just always very enticing to get, and unfortunately, he's going to die over here, and there's no way I can help him here. So, although Varus gets the 160 gold and plate, Lee Sin gets 300 gold and the EXP for kill. So that's going to be bad for us, but it's all good. I'm not going to blame him. So what's going to happen over here is I'm just going to, continue my clear. I'm now 4-1. I'm a pretty big boy. This Janna is roaming to the top lane to get the kill onto Karma. This Diana, what she does is instead of getting her CS, he keeps continuing to roam, right? I want to show you guys that because that's important. He continues to keep roaming with his Janna. And the Janna is, very active on the map because, bot lane was super pushed up. This Varus was going to have to reset anyways. What's Janna going to be doing in the bot lane if she went there, right? Maybe she could have protected Varus, but it's not a guarantee that she would be able to, one, protect Varus, and two, make anything happen in bot. So what they do is they're able to get a kill onto the Karma over here, which is really good for us. But since they showed top, their jungle and their bot lane are able to secure dragon. There's no way I can contest this, even though I have vision of them doing it. I'm completely outnumbered. I have no one who can help me, so it's fine to just give them the first dragon. At this point in the game, there's an interesting conversation that a lot of people have about what's more valuable. Is the Rift Heralds more valuable in the early game, or the first two elemental drakes, right? Because a lot of times teams in LCS, LCK, they tend to trade the early dragons for Rift Heralds. And my opinion on that, even though I'm not the most knowledgeable, is that obviously, as we all know, it's very dependent on team comp. So for this game, for me personally, I thought that it was more than okay to give them dragons as long as we got the Rift Herald and we are able to cement ourselves an early game gold lead, because we'll need that gold lead to be able to kind of crush them and really snowball this game. We don't want this game, stagnating, going out too far. We want to be able to kind of put our pedal to the metal over here and really roll over their pokey, squishy dudes. So that's exactly what we kind of go for here. Okay. So now we see over here, after they do the dragon, this Lux is playing far too up. So she is able to land a nice Q and ult onto the Janna and kill her. But it's okay for us because we're gonna be able to secure the kill on the Lux, who has no flash and no exhaust. So it was a worth it trade for us because we are able to get both the shutdown gold onto Lux and assists. Okay. So now my next course of action will be to kind of continue to get my buffs, get myself keep roaming around the map, right, to see if this bot lane or people are extended, right? Not necessarily I had a crazy course of action. My backup plan was going to be getting my blue buff, right, getting my wolves, continuing to CS, but I'm going to always be hovering a little, always watching the map to see if these guys are pushed up way too much. Over here I do see that this bot lane is extremely pushed up, but as I start walking down, I notice that they definitely have vision of something because they react immediately. So that's okay. I tried doing that, but now I know that they have vision. What do I spend there? What do I spend over here? 10-15 seconds doing that? It's not the end of the world. I'm going to be able to just continue to buff up and get my camps. They had a nice ward over here. I was not aware about that at all. Maybe I should have scanned it immediately. That's something that maybe that's a mistake I probably made. So life goes on. But now what happens over here? it's important to see exactly what happened over here real quick. Let me just set up my mouse real quick. Tired of using my touchpad. Okay, so what happens over here is that the Lee Sin, this Diana was greeting for plate because all people in Diamond 2 like to greet for plates just like they do in every other elo game. So the Diana gets extremely low but is able to dodge that Q and survive. Okay, I'm committing on this blue buff, but after this blue buff I'm going to go and help out the Diana potentially if she's not able to get her back off in time. Hurry up, Trundle, get that blue. Okay, so over here we see that the Lee Sin's going for the Diana. He's gonna ward up here, and what I do immediately is I'm going to W to give myself movement speed, and I'm gonna be able to, I put myself in front of Diana so that I can block any type of Q that goes to her, tank the damage, and he has no ultimate as we know, and just be able to outright kill the Lee Sin for going for that play, and we are able to get that. Next, I put a pillar right here, so he's gonna be unable to either it's to take him a really long time to pass through here, or he has to flash. So we're able to burn the flash immediately through there, and life is really good, right? Got the flash out of the way. I don't have my pillar for a little while, so we can't chase that Lux fight. So that was really good for us. This Urgot's able to get a solo kill. This lane, this game is looking up towards us, and even though it's 19 kills within the first 8 minutes, which is an absolute fiesta, we are ahead in this fiesta, and things are feeling pretty good for us. Also, funnily enough, the scuttle has been up for a really long time, guys. That's kind of like an embarrassment for both me and Lee Sin, in that that scuttle is not taken at this time, but due to the crazy nature of this game, and due to all the whole fiesta and us obviously not both playing perfectly, sometimes that happens. It's just funny to me. In 8 minutes in the game, this scuttle is still up. Pretty funny. Okay, so I try to commit on a gank to Lux, even though the Diana is super low and our wave was a little pushed up. That was a really bad gank by me, and I have to stop trying to go for these ganks where it's very inconclusive what's gonna happen. Right, our Diana has absolutely no pressure to be able to go in. This Lux has her ult, has the ability to Q. I'm thinking oh, maybe we can get the kill on here, but no dice, right? There's just gonna be no ability for us to even go for that. But what happens over here, right? It would have been so fine if this Lux just walked away, right? But she continues to try to, she burns, what'd she burn here? It would have been totally fine if the Lux just walked away, right? But she burns her Q, right? And the moment she burns her Q, we're chilling. Because there's no way that she's going to be able to kill us. This Diana flashes here, which is really weird. She could have flashed a little behind her or whatever, right? But, I mean, it's tough. It's tough. The adrenaline rush, whatever. It's tough out here sometimes. Okay? So what I'm going to be able to do now is that now that I know that Lux has nothing, no flash, no summoners, I'm just going to be able to whack her, stick onto her. She has no Q. Just continue to just chomp her because he has nothing. Now what is this Lisa gonna do? He burned his W. He burned his I don't even think I saw him burn. Did I see him burn the flash? I don't remember. But now he's dead too because he committed for that. So that's huge. That's a big snowball for us, guys. And at this point, this game is already looking a little like it's in the wraps, right? Because we have a pretty big goal lead. But it's important against a comp like this cheesy comp with Lux and Karma and Aphelios. Not Aphelios, but Lux and Karma, that we have to really cement and get the job done. I'm able to get the scuttle over here. I'm able to secure the wraiths, get my camps, continue progress. And instead of going for the red buff, what I'm going to do over here is, a couple things. One, try to put pressure on the Carbo, who's playing very up. Although the Urgot's very behind and going up here, I'm trying to put pressure on the top lane and trying to see if I can go for a gank. And unfortunately for me, I get caught out. So this is another mistake by me. This Lee Sin's going to come in, and I am not even going to... I have Challenging Smite up, but I'm not even going to burn Challenging Smite yet. And I'm just going to start whacking him, right? Thinking that I'm much ahead, ulting him. Now I burn Challenging Smite on him, right? If I burned Challenging Smite on him earlier, I would have been able to get the kill on Lee Sin. But I don't burn Challenging Smite earlier. And I leave him at like 10 HP at one point, and Lux is able to get a kill and a huge shutdown on from me. I was worth a lot of gold there, and I did a big throw there. That's a big throw. Guys, even like I made a huge throw there. Not a huge throw, but like, that kind of got them back into the game because the Lux got the kill. They were very behind, and I didn't have to take that risk at all. I could have done my red buff, done my Gromp, and I would have been sitting and looking really pretty. So I apologize to my team for that play. It's a very bad play by me. But life goes on. This Urgot's continuing to have immense amount of pressure over here in the top lane. This Janna is continuing to roam and being a good, a very annoying teammate, annoying person to play against. The life is looking still pretty good for us. I'm very confident in my team. Funnily enough, these guys are running away from this Urgot. They have double smite, but Urgot's able to kind of steamroll them down for trying to overcommit to the Gromp and not just giving up the Gromp, and Urgot's able to get another kill. So that's not me at all. That's like anti-jungle difference. Like Lee Sin kind of made a troll play after I made a troll play. This game's like a game where jungles are not looking too pretty right now, including myself. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sit back and look pretty. This Varus gets caught out, but I don't blame him because he was playing way behind here, but the Leonos was able to get a nice ult off, and they were able to get a kill while Janna was roaming. That happens sometimes. There's not much you can do about it. I'm gonna get this Gromp that I haven't touched in the whole game. That's why this Gromp is so squishy right now. The Krugs are so squishy right now. This is something I should have been doing before, and I would have been massive, but I didn't do that. So now what I'm going to go for is, like I talked about before, I wanted to secure the first Rift Herald in our game no matter what. I know that, they spent a lot of resources here. They got their camps over here. I had a big feeling that the Lee Sin was going to be bot side because they expended a lot of their camp time here, and also this dragon is coming up shortly. So as I talked about before, win condition in my mind was it's okay to give them the first 2 Drakes. We can go ahead and just take the Rift Herald and really push our lead. So I'm planning to get this Rift Herald and then burn it in the top lane. Let's go quickly through that. Unfortunately for us, yeah, our bot and mid lane keep on getting caught out, and this Lee Sin's getting more ahead and bigger. And now the win condition for them kind of like suddenly evolved into a new option, which is well, I guess they always had those win condition, but it's Lee Sin getting extremely fed and big, and Lux and Karma shielding and supporting this Lee Sin while he steamrolls our team. That's a win condition that they could potentially unlock if we keep feeding kills over to the Lee Sin. Give me a second. Sorry guys, I'm gonna mute this. So we have to keep that in mind too. We have to be very careful to not throw this game. But at this point, they're racing for the first blood on turret, and I know immediately that I have to put down this Rift Herald to secure first blood turret. We're gonna be able to get that. Me hitting this turret, it's not gonna really change too many things because this Rift Herald is gonna be able to secure it immediately. We get the first blood turret. They do not. They're going for this turret, and they're gonna go for the dragon over here. So they're gonna go for a play on the dragon. I don't want to contest it because it's so ambiguous as to whether or not we're gonna be able to contest it for sure. What I want to do though is get this kill on this Lux, who is by herself in the mid lane, and they're very exposed. So we get an ult off onto Lux, a really nice ult by Varus to lock her up. The moment I see her burn her Q and E onto the Varus, it's time for me to go in. Time for me to tank the turret and just get a free kill onto the Lux. Life is good. Okay, we get the kill onto the Lux, and now I see that the bot lane is trying to come up. But Varus got extremely low. I got pretty low. We should be looking to kind of like tickle around this dragon, and see, since we have the Diana coming over here, if we can kind of contest it. But it's very risky by us. If this Leona is able to get a good engage off, it could potentially be very threatening for us. So we have to chill out a little bit. Thing is, they're scared of going for it, which I understand because we have we have the numbers advantage. And the Diana came back, so they have to actually disengage now, especially since we're able to catch out this Lux in the mid lane. I kind of go for a pillar to maybe go for the Leona, but there's not much going on. I can't go for the Ocean Dragon because I have no smite, but our guy gets a beautiful TP off here, and we're able to get a kill onto the Leona. So at this point, right? At this point, with us having a crazy amount of numbers of advantage, what I actually wanted to do was, either we kind of go for their jungle, right? Kind of commit into their place and really establish vision before even thinking about going for this dragon, or we can potentially do the dragon without smite, but really have someone zone the Lee Sin, which is definitely possible. Fortunately for us, we do none of those options. We're kind of tickling, trying to see if we can get this Aphelios over here, right? And even though Aphelios burns this heal in this flash, we're not really accomplishing too much other than getting this turret, which is fine for us, I guess. But like this whole scene that you guys see, all this is like just an example of the the reason why like even like Diamond 2, and I know that Diamond 2 might be pretty high for some of you guys, like we have very inconclusive ideas. Like people, including myself, sometimes we find ourselves not being able to commit to a certain plan, trying to see if the enemy is going to continue to make mistakes, when in all honesty we need to just take the initiative and really stamp our minds in, okay, let's do this plan, let's do that plan. But no, what's happening is that I'm kind of over here doing my own thing, the bot lane over here is doing their own thing. What I should have probably done is just join with the team. When all is lost and all goes wrong, group up with your team, guys. That's like rule number 3 in League of Legends. Rule number 1 is don't die, and rule number 2 is like, I don't know, like take the kills in low elo or something like that. You don't want to trust your teammates. I don't know. All right, anyways, let's continue on over here. So I'm going to go for this mid farm over here because otherwise no one's going to be able to get it. This Diana is trying to go for some weird type of cheese, going for the red buff, gets completely caught out. I try to go for a pillar over here to help this Diana escape, but Lee Sin gets a nice kick off of me that affects the Diana, gets another nice Q on me. I am super low HP, and at this point all the Lee Sin needed to do was back off, right? Back off and go for the dragon or something, right? But this silly Lee Sin does something that, is in one of the 50 rules of League of Legends. Don't chase Trundle. He does chase me, and he tries to go for a Q onto me and is unable to do so, and I dodge it and I get the kill. Shutdown gold. And now I'm big once again. I have now 8 kills, and I'm very feisty. Huge. It's important to note though that even though I'm really big, I also have an Urgot who's extremely ahead, Diana who's pretty strong. It's important for me to not go for damage over here. It's important for me to continue to go kind of a tanky path and be a really annoying pest, and even when I go full tank, I still do a lot of damage with my ult and my Qs. This Janna actually is now not the Janna, sorry. So first what's gonna happen is I'm going to go over to bot because they're making a lot of plays happen. I'm gonna show you guys what happens soon. I try to go for this vision clear, but they actually do put out a poke onto the dragon, and now I'm extremely low. But we're able to just secure this kill onto the Leona. I'm gonna pillar to make sure it happens and give an ult Leona to get some health back. So at this point in the game, we just really needed to reset, right? I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna try to get this scuttle over here, right? And at this point, we needed to reset because I have no smite, right? My smite's up for a little while. I'm pinging my smite timer. No, I'm telling them back up. But this Janna actually was the one that pinged this dragon to go for it, and this Diana's committing for it. So we are starting to commit for it. What I needed to do in this game, I needed to tell my team in chat, like, no, don't do dragon. Back off, back off. It's a terrible plan, terrible plan. But we do go for the dragon. Now we get collapsed. And now we continue to make mistakes over and over again. If there's one thing that I want to show you guys with this video, even though I'm trying to teach you guys a lot of stuff, is that like, if you're like gold or like silver or whatever elo you are, and you're seeing something like this happen in like Diamond 2, that's just it. Like Diamond 2 players, like people like me, people like these guys, we make a lot of mistakes still. Like the amount of mistakes that we make in a game is insane. So don't be discouraged and be like, yo, Diamond 2 players have so much more knowledge than, like, we do have a better understanding of the game than you guys, but it doesn't mean that we don't make a lot of mistakes. So if you guys go against in Clash or whatever, you find yourself going against like a Diamond Elo player or like a Diamond Smurf or whatever, like these crazy Smurfs, don't be discouraged and really understand that no one's gonna play perfectly in League of Legends. Not even like a low challenger dude or like whatever. We all make mistakes, and it should encourage you guys to really see that if I just keep improving, I don't have to improve to be a absolute perfect master of the game, but just keep improving and keep minimizing your mistakes, and there's no reason why anyone should not be able to get at least diamond in at least in the NA region. I don't know about the other regions. I'm just gonna fast forward this because we kind of just get killed over. My team gets killed over here. I get killed by the Phelios over here. It was a bad call overall by the Janna, but I should have told my team in chat, get off it, and I do not do that. So I take the blame for that as well. Now they are able to get the second dragon, but unfortunately for us, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal that they're able to get this dragon because we still have a big gold lead. We have this Urgot who's 7-0. We have me, I'm pretty big. This Varus is behind in kills, and his score makes him look like he doesn't do much damage, but he does do a lot of damage because he is that poke Varus build, and it's a ridiculous build currently in this meta. Okay, so what's our plan over here, guys? What's our plan in 15 minutes in the game, right here? Let's look at the timers real quick. Visibility, objective timers. We see that Rift Herald's not coming up for 2 minutes. Dragon's not coming up for a little while. Our red buff is coming up very soon, but what's gonna be our objective over here? And if we see on the map, mid lane turret is a very big objective still that we need to take. And we have all the other outer turrets. So that's obviously what we're going to go for because, we have top turret, bottom turret, but mid turret's the one that really opens up the map and really allows us to go from point A. Let's say this was point A to continue to go through here, which is a very important passageway to unlock for teams that are trying to snowball to point B over here. Stuff like that, this whole region, we're able to get this turret, will be available and accessible to us. Okay, so what do we do over here? We see that they overextended to try to go for that mid turret. We see that the most fed person on the team, the person that we're most scared about right now, which is their Lee Sin, who has 8 kills now, is in the bottom side. So we know that this is an entirely free kill onto the Lux. And I'm feeling more and more confident about this game every single time because against Lux players, the more they die, the more we feel I feel that they are just completely able to get caught out and miss position, and we're able to just continue to punish her. So another fight breaks out over here. This time Leona gets a very beautiful ult over here. Lee Sin's able to get a huge double kill over here. Bottom line is our team and continue to overextend after we got those kills. We should have just committed to getting mid turret here. Instead, we gave Lee Sin even more kills and got him even more fed, which is really bad for us. This is kind of a chaotic turn of events, and now they have the moment. Even though we're 3k up, there's no way we would have known that, right? In our game, there's no way we would have known that we were 3k up. In fact, I thought that they were at least even, or they were the ones with the advantage at this point. Okay, so the Lee Sin is able to get the mid lane turret over here, but at the cost of the mid lane turret, this Diana goes crazy and goes flash Q and goes. She doesn't land her Q at all, which is hilarious. She doesn't land her Q on anyone, but she just goes straight right in. And what do we do? We have to just support our boy, right? And sometimes we know that the Lee Sin burned her ult. They burned all their ults except for maybe Lux in that fight, and we just have to go straight in. So we're gonna go support. I'm going to pillar the Lee Sin to try to get him away from the fight. What I'm doing right now is I'm seeing right? If the Lee Sin's going to Q me, if he's going to Q me, I want him to Q away from my 2 guys that are dishing out a lot of damage to their team, because I don't want this Lee Sin to murder all 3 of us, right? And now I see that Lee Sin's not really thinking about committing, but he goes in over here. So I guess that was a little troll of me to even be saying that. But we're able to focus this Lee Sin and turn on to this Lee Sin, get the kill onto him, get a huge shutdown. And now I'm looking to try to see maybe if I can kill this Karma. But like I talked about before, Karma is very annoying to chase. So we're just going to run her down. And with the help of Urgot, we're able to get that kill. So now we're able to get this mid lane turret. If one of our teams were just better, right? We're just more disciplined, they would have probably won this game. But our team, because our team thrives more in undisciplined team fights, right? Because if you look at both of our team types, if their team is more undisciplined, right? Even though we're both equally undisciplined, our team's gonna always become the victor of that scenario, because we have the people that are gonna dive a lot. They just have really squishy folks, right? Very squishy folks, except for the Lee Sin and the Leona. So because we were both equally fiestaing, that actually benefited us. If they were more disciplined and controlled, I'm pretty sure that they actually would have won this game. So that's just something to think, keep in mind over here. I'm gonna wrap up this game. I think the most important part of this video is the early game. That whole early to mid game fiesta really determined the state of this game, and we're able to get the Baron and cement our W for this game. Even though it takes us a bit longer to do it, it was an inevitable process. Like, I never felt at that point when I skipped forward, I never felt that we were gonna lose this game. It was gonna be very hard for us to lose this game because their comp was too delicate. We've broken their souls, so to speak. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to definitely be uploading more in the near future, and this is a patch 10.8 games. I will be saying that in the description, but this is a very recent game. So hope you guys continue to stay safe in these hard times. I am in the NYC region. We just got announced that lockdown will be pushed to at least May 15th. So we'll be in this for the long haul, guys. So stay safe, continue to play your League of Legends, and continue to climb and have fun. Bye, guys.